Hello everyone, today I want to share with you a powerful and inspiring verse from the Bible. The Bible is a book filled with wisdom, guidance, and comfort, and this particular verse has been a great source of encouragement for me. I hope it touches your heart as well and reminds us of the love and grace of God in our lives. The texts that I want to share with can be found in 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 17 says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. There are 3 important things to consider about appearance on this text. Number 1 is avoid superficial judgments. The Bible encourages us not to judge others solely based on their outward appearance or physical attributes. People tend to make snap judgments based on appearances, but this verse reminds us that such judgments are inadequate and may lead to unfair treatment of others. According to 1 Samuel 16 verse 7 in this passage, Samuel is sent by God to anoint a new king from among Jesse's sons. When he sees Eliab, Jesse's eldest and most imposing son, Samuel assumes that he must be the chosen one because of his appearance. However, God corrects Samuel's thinking and emphasizes that he sees beyond physical attributes. God's perspective is different from human judgments. He looks at a person's heart, inner character, and intentions. Number 2 things to consider is, embrace God's perspective. Instead of focusing on external appearances, we should strive to see others as God sees them. God's perspective is rooted in love, grace, and a deep understanding of a person's true nature and potential. God's selection of David as king over Saul highlights this point. David, the youngest son and a shepherd, may not have been the obvious choice based on societal norms or appearances, but God saw his heart and his potential to lead with righteousness and humility. When we adopt God's perspective, we are more likely to treat others with compassion and fairness. Number 3 things to consider is cultivate discernment. While we should avoid superficial judgments, it is essential to cultivate discernment and wisdom in evaluating people's character and actions. Discernment helps us make sound decisions without being swayed solely by appearances. Jesus teaches about discernment in Matthew 7, verses 15 to 20, where he warns against false prophets who may appear outwardly righteous but bear bad fruit in their actions. By their fruits, you will know them. We can exercise discernment by observing how a person's actions align with God's principles and values. And lastly, number 4 things to consider is, practice humility. Recognize that everyone has intrinsic value and is created in the image of God. Humility helps us treat others with respect and kindness, regardless of their appearance or social status. In Philippians 2:3-4 urges us to do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but to consider others better than ourselves and to look out for their interests. When we humbly acknowledge the worth of others, we treat them with love and honor, reflecting the character of Christ. So brothers and sisters, Samuel 16 verse 7 teaches us to avoid superficial judgments based on appearance and to adopt God's perspective, cultivating discernment and humility in our interactions with others. By doing so, we can foster a more compassionate and understanding community that values the intrinsic worth of every individual. Friends, I want to leave you with a simple but profound message. In a world that often places great importance on outward appearances, we are reminded by the scriptures not to judge others solely based on how they look. Our human eyes may see the surface, but God, who knows us intimately, looks into the depths of our hearts. Let us strive to embrace God's perspective, where love, compassion, and understanding take precedence over superficial judgments. As we interact with one another, may we remember that each person has intrinsic value, created in the image of God, and deserving of respect and kindness. May we cultivate discernment and wisdom, not to criticize or condemn, but to discern the true character and intentions of those around us. Let us walk in humility, acknowledging that we are all imperfect beings, and only God truly knows the hearts of people. As we go forward from here, let us carry in our hearts the words of 1 Samuel 16-7, allowing it to shape how we perceive and treat one another. Let us be instruments of God's love and grace, shining a light of acceptance and understanding in a world that desperately needs it. Thank you for being part of this meaningful discussion. May we continue to grow in faith and extend the same grace that God has shown us to those we encounter on our journey. God bless you all. Thank you. Thanks for watching and listening.